A very good morning. My name is Adalric from AM104A with the student ID 2024265932.
Hello, my name is Mohammad Zulwaqar Danial bin Hazrid. My student ID is 2024203674.
My name is Muhammad Farhan Adam bin Mohammad Faisal Riza and my matrix number 2024285448.
My name is Mohammad Nurizwan bin Zainalabidin, student ID 2024651124.
Hi, my name is Franco Reyes Pidin and my student ID is 2024436678.
Very good morning, everyone. So today, our podcast is about domestic issue in Vietnam. I'm your moderator for today, Lesah, and our special guest for today is Mr. Zulwaqar.
Hi.
So today, we're going to present on domestic issue in Vietnam. So as we know, Vietnam itself is the fastest growing country in Southeast Asia. Over the year, it has made impressive progress in many areas, especially in economic development. However, like any developing nation, Vietnam still faces several important challenges at home. So, to truly understand Vietnam more, we need to understand its past, its history, and also that history that already play a major role in shaping the country identity, political system, economy, and society. That's why we need to explore more to Vietnam that has four key aspects, that is history, political issue, economic challenges, and social concern. So, my question to you, sir, do you have Vietnam long and fascinating history?
That was a great question. Let me begin about Vietnam history. So, Vietnam history has a long and fascinating history, one that is deeply rooted in resilience and determination. Alright, in its early day, Vietnam was ruled by local kingdoms. However, it later came under Chinese rule for more than 1,000 years. Despite this long period of foreign control, the Vietnamese people never lost their sense of identity. They continued to resist until they finally regained independence in 939 AD. Moving on, after Vietnam gaining their independence, Vietnam again was ruled by several strong dynasties. This dynasty helped expand the country, strengthen its government, and develop its unique culture. Furthermore, in 19th century, Vietnam was colonized by France. French rule brought many hardships, including economic exploitation and social inequality. At the same time, it also inspired a strong sense of nationalism among Vietnamese people. Moving on, after World War II, Vietnam declared its independence. However, peace did not come immediately. The country went through years of conflict, including the Vietnam War, which left a lasting impact on its people and development. Lastly, Vietnam in 1975, Vietnam was reunited. Since then, it has worked hard to rebuild itself. Today, Vietnam stands as a rapidly developing country with a strong national identity and bright future ahead.
Wow, thank you very much. So hi everyone, welcome back to our second segment of podcast. So right now we're gonna talk about political issue in Vietnam. So right now I have our second special guest, that is Mohamad. So today we're gonna talk about political issue in Vietnam today. As we know, Vietnam today has limitation of freedom of speech. So what are you comment about that?
Okay, so yes, one of the main political issues in Vietnam today is the limitation of freedom of speech. For you guys' information, Vietnam operates under a one-party system led by the Communist Party of Vietnam. This means that the government has significant control over political activities, the media, and public discussions. Most forms of media, including newspaper, television, and even many online platforms, are closely monitored or controlled by the government. A well-known example I can give is Nguyen Ngoc Nhu Quyên, also known as Mother Mushroom. She was a blogger and activist who spoke out about environmental issues and government accountability. In 2016, she was arrested for her writings. The following year, she was sentenced to prison under national security law. Her case drew international attention and raised concern about human rights and freedom of expression in Vietnam. I guess that's all for my part.
Wow, that's very good. So we're going to go to our next segment, so stay tuned for the next segment. Welcome back everyone to our third segment for today. So today we have our third speaker, is Mohammad Nurizwan bin Zainalabidin.
Yeah, that is me.
So why does Vietnam economy has been remarkable over the past decade? Can you explain more for me?
Yeah, so firstly, Vietnam's economy has grown remarkably over the past few decades. It is now considered one of the fastest growing economies in Southeast Asia. So the country has become a major exporter, particularly in industry such as electronics, textiles, and manufacturing. This has attracted foreign investment and created many job opportunities to all of the country. However, despite this strong growth, Vietnam still faces several economic challenges. So one of the major issues is weak domestic consumption. While incomes are rising, the benefits of economic growth are not shared equally. People in urban areas often earn more and enjoy better living standards than those in rural areas. Cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City continue to develop rapidly, while many rural communities still struggle with limited economic opportunities. Another challenge is labor productivity. Although Vietnam has a young and energetic workforce, productivity levels remain lower than in more developed Asian countries. There is also a skill gap. In many cases, the education system does not fully match the needs of modern industry. As a result, employers sometimes find it difficult to recruit workers with the right skills. To maintain its economic momentum, Vietnam must continue improving education, workforce training, and economic inclusiveness.
Wow, thank you for the explanation. Alright, so we're back again to our last segment for today. Our speaker introduced itself. What is your name, sir?
Yes, hello, my name is Franco. Pidin.
So the question is, why did the social issue still happening between the gap of urban and rural communities? Can you explain it to me?
So, one of the most pressing social issues in Vietnam is the gap between urban and rural communities. People living in major cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City usually have better access to jobs, education, healthcare, and public services. Urban areas offer more opportunities and generally provide a higher standard of living. On the other hand, people in rural areas often face greater challenges. Many still rely heavily on agriculture, which can provide unstable and lower incomes. The difference is especially clear in education and healthcare. Rural schools may lack proper facilities, teaching resources, and experienced educators. This can affect the quality of education that students receive. Similarly, healthcare services in rural areas are often less advanced. Hospitals and clinics may have limited equipment, fewer medical professionals, and less access to specialized treatment. These inequalities can make it harder for rural communities to improve their quality of life and fully benefit from Vietnam's overall development.
Wow, that is a very great explanation. So what is the conclusion that you can give to all of us for this podcast?
So, in conclusion, Vietnam is a country that has shown incredible strength, resilience, and determination throughout its history. From overcoming foreign rule and war to becoming one of the Southeast Asia's fastest growing economies, Vietnam has achieved remarkable progress. At the same time, it continues to face important domestic challenges. Political restriction on freedom of speech remain a concern. Economic issues such as uneven income distribution, weak domestic consumption, and the skills gap still need attention. Socially, the divide between urban and rural areas continues to affect equal access to opportunities and essential services. These challenges remind us that development is not just about economic growth, it is also about ensuring that progress benefits everyone equally. If Vietnam can successfully address these issues, it will be well positioned to build a future that is not only more prosperous but also more inclusive, balanced, and sustainable. That's all from me. Thank you.
Wow, I think that's all for podcast for today. See you guys in the next podcast. Thank you very much.